Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Laredo College, it is my privilege to welcome you to the historic Fort McIntosh campus as we gather to celebrate a remarkable leader in education, Dr. Sylvia Guerra Rios. My name is Ruben Villarreal. I serve as the Public Information Officer here at Laredo College. Dr. Rios has devoted the better part of 5 decades to serving students, families, and the community with passion and purpose. As superintendent of Laredo ISD, her leadership has left an enduring legacy. Legacy is a word we're going to hear a lot tonight, and rightfully so. Under her guidance, LISD has earned both national and state recognition, including multiple national Blue Ribbon School honors, placing the district among the most celebrated in the region. Tonight, we honor not just the milestones, but the vision and the heart that have empowered minds, shaped futures, and strengthened communities across Laredo. Before we continue, I'd like to recognize some of the folks that are joining us here this evening, this afternoon, starting with the Laredo College Board of Trustees members, the President, Mr. Esteban Rangel. The Vice President for the Board of Trustees for LC, Ms. Ernestina Tita Vela Cantu. The Secretary, Ms. Jackie Levin Ramos. Also from the LC Board of Trustees, Ms. Erica Benavides Garcia. And of course, Ms. Cindy Liendo, right up here in front. Monday. Oh, parliamentarian. I got to update my list. I'm sorry, Ms. Liendo. Now I got all thrown off. Now we go to the college administration. Start with the college, otherwise I get fired. So, of course, the president of Laredo College, Dr. Minita Ramirez. The vice president of finance and administration, Mr. Cesar E. Vela. We also have the Vice President of Compliance and Risk Management, Dr. David B. Ariasola. Our Associate Provost for Strategic and Collaborative Partnerships, Dr. Heriberto Hernandez. And our Executive Director of Human Resources, Ms. Veronica Cardenas. Joining us from the LISD Board of Trustees, we have Trustee Dr. Gilberto Gil Martinez Jr., who is actually serving 2 roles here today, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Also, Trustee Monica Garcia joining us. We have from the City of Laredo, Councilman Ricardo Richie Rangel Jr., and Councilman Ricardo Rick Garza also joining us. And we have the Superintendent of Schools for United Independent School District, Dr. Gerardo Cruz. And Dr. Daniel King, also joining us, the regional. Give me the title again. Thank you. All right. So at this time, we're going to have the board president for Laredo College say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, legend, a legacy. Those words are very much needed today because that is really what we are going to be celebrating today. So, good afternoon on behalf of the Laredo Board of Trustees and the college staff. We want to thank you for being here and celebrating the career of Dr. Sylvia Guerra Rios. Dr. Rios has been not just a leader, but she's been an unwavering friend for Laredo College. Through our dual enrollment programs, the partnership between LISD and LC has gone stronger and stronger every year. This initiative has transformed lives for students and prepared them in their academic and journey. Just this past graduation, we had a total of 250 students from LC graduating with an associate's or a certificate. That is something remarkable. Just this fall, 2024, and spring 2025, we had over 3,667 students enrolled in a dual enrollment. That is just remarkable. And that is what Dr. Rios has made the partnership with LC and LISD. Now, that was the notes that they kind of gave me to kind of speak. But now I want to speak on behalf of course, a trustee, but also as an LISD employee. But most importantly, I want to say, as a friend for Dr. Rios. She is a remarkable person. She has done so much for students, and that's something that does not go unseen. I'm in a room full of educators, I want to say, and it's either in finance or operations or even teachers or even principals, teachers that are in the trenches, right? So I want to say that you guys are going to understand where I'm going to go with this. There's teachers in your life that teach you and they will forever be instilled in your heart because they made a difference. Let it be if you were a first grader or a 12th grader. Me, myself, I have a couple of them. I have Miss Garza, my first grade teacher. I remember her very well. I have Miss Arambula, my third grade teacher, which works at United. I have Miss Trevino, my sixth grade teacher. And my last teacher was Miss Montemayor, my 12th grade teacher. I will forever hold them in my heart. They are teachers that they did something. They struck a chord in my life and they kind of shaped me like, no, 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 hazte pa allá, hazte pa acá. And I thank them. And never did I think that at almost 44, almost at my 24th year working for the ISDs, that I was going to get another teacher. And without her even knowing, she was teaching, especially me, that's how I saw, teaching me how to be a better leader, teaching me how to be a better employee, a better person, and just guiding me to have better leadership. I didn't notice it until I'm seeing her walk away, that I see that is a person that now is going to fall into that very small pot of educators in my life that have transformed me. And that is what she brings to the table in so many different levels. And I'm so happy that I was able to speak today and tell her in public that you will forever be engraved in my heart, Dr. Rios, because that's beautiful. I'm going to end it with this. What we call the beginning is often the end. And to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start. T.S. Eliot. That is the last quote that I saw Dr. Rios in her leadership, and she posted it in her slide. And I read it, and I looked at her, and I said, this is her end, but this is her beginning. So Muchas felicidades, Dr. Rios. Le deseo todo lo mejor, que Dios la bendiga y muchas gracias por lo que hizo para la comunidad de Laredo, Texas. Thank you, ma'am.
From the LISD Board of Trustees, I'd like to invite Monica Garcia on up here to speak.
Yes, Dr. Rios, I have my folder. Always the teacher. Good evening, everyone. It is a true honor to stand before you today to come together to celebrate a truly remarkable individual, our beloved Superintendent, Dr. Sylvia Guerra Rios. As she prepares to embark on this new chapter of life, I want to take a moment to reflect on her incredible journey and all that she has meant to us in LISD. Dr. Rios, your leadership has been a guiding light in Laredo Independent School District from your first day until this very moment. You have demonstrated unwavering dedication, passion, and commitment to excellence. You have not just been a superintendent, you have been a mentor, an advocate, and a friend to all of us. Your vision for education has transformed our schools and positively impacted countless lives. You understood that education is about more than just academics. It's about nurturing the whole child. Your initiative has fostered an inclusive and engaging environment where every student feels valued and empowered. You have so done that. The programs you've implemented will continue to benefit our students for years to come. We have shared so many wonderful moments under your guidance, celebrating success, weathering challenges, and navigating the ever-changing landscape of education. Your positivity and resilience in the face of adversity, COVID, have inspired us all to strive for greatness, even when times were extremely tough. Excuse me. On a personal note, I am grateful for the countless conversations we've had. You know what I'm talking about, Dr. Rios? The wisdom you shared and the encouragement you've given me. You have challenged me to grow and become a better person and leader. And for that, I thank you. As Sylvia steps into this new chapter of life, I'm reminded of Ralph Waldo Emerson's words. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Dr. Rios, you have blazed a trail of excellence in education, and we are excited to see where the journey takes you next. As you enter this exciting new phase of life, I hope you take time to embrace all the adventures that await you. Whether it's traveling, spending time with family, pursuing hobbies, kickapoo, or simply relaxing, you will ask me there. Know that you have more than earned this time for yourself. And on a side note, Dr. Rios, cuando crezca yo quiero ser como tú. In closing, let me share a simple wish from the heart. May your retirement be filled with joy, new experiences, and everything you have dreamed of. Your legacy who will live in the hearts and minds of all those you've touched. On behalf of the Laredo Independent School District Board of Trustees, we wish you and we send you off with an abundance of blessings in this new journey with your beloved family. Congratulations, Dr. Sylvia Guerra Rios, on your retirement. You will be deeply missed, but never forgotten, at least not from me. Thank you, Laredo College, for allowing me to share these words with Dr. Rios. I really do appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Now, on behalf of the Laredo College Academic Affairs, I'd like to welcome Dr. Heriberto Hernandez. He's the Associate Provost for Strategic and Collaborative Partnerships here at Laredo College. Good afternoon, everyone. I
I'm honored to say a few words on behalf of Laredo College's Academic Affairs Division. Dr. Rios, today we gather not only to honor your career as an extraordinary educational leader, but on your legacy that will continue to shape the lives of students, families, and our community for generations to come. Among the many accomplishments we celebrate, one stands out as a shining example of leadership and progress through partnerships. This being the collaborative efforts with Laredo College, particularly in expanding dual enrollment opportunities with LISD students. Through this initiative, students gain more than just college credits. They gain confidence, direction, and access to an education that every young learner deserves. This collaboration didn't happen by chance. It took bold leadership, mutual trust, and a leader who believed that every student deserves a pathway to success. Because of this work, LISD students are graduating better prepared, more confident, and inspired to continue their journeys in higher education, the workforce, and beyond. Dr. Rios, your legacy is written in the success of every student who dared to dream because you believed in them. Your leadership has made our schools stronger, our partnerships deeper, and our community better. On behalf of the Academic Affairs Division and the countless students whose futures you've helped shape, we say thank you. Thank you for your vision, thank you for your trust, and for your service. May your next chapter be as fulfilling as the one we celebrate today. Congratulations on your retirement, Dr. Rios.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez. Earlier, I introduced him as an LISD board member. Now I'm going to introduce him as the Laredo College Faculty Senate President. Please welcome Dr. Gilberto Martinez.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Rios, I'm gonna challenge your memory a little bit, but do you remember the first time you and I met? You do remember? I'm not going to put you on the spot and say, can you please? But even if this is not the memory, I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was my last year as a Laredo College board member, and I had already decided not to run again. But it's okay. My replacement is excellent. He's standing right there. So I was already not going to any of the events. I said, what for? But something piqued my interest about this one last event because they were having the inauguration of the Cantu Early College. And I said, well, let me go, just show my face, get a free meal or something. There was no food, but I went there, and the first person who came up to me was Dr. Rios. And in my head, I was like, oh, you're talking to the wrong person. I'm on my way out or anything like that. I didn't say it out of my mind. I was thinking that. But she just came up to me and said, look at what we're going to do, and was introducing me to everyone and was excited about this opportunity for the students to earn their credits as health professionals, right? So that was in 2018. Cut to 2025, I'm taking my father to his cardiologist appointment, and I'm always his ride, right? So I'm taking him, and there's this young man behind the counter, and I thought, oh, school must have started early because he's in t-shirt and jeans. I think he's got to be somebody's teenage kid, right? And I sat down with my father. They call his name, and it's this young man. And he takes my father in, and he starts doing the blood pressure and all that. And I'm thinking to myself, why are they letting this kid do all the, the vitals and stuff like that? And so, I asked him, I said, are you an intern? He goes, no. He goes, I'm not. I just graduated from Cantu Magnet School, Early College High School, and he wanted to be a cardiologist. He had earned his certificate to work as a health professional, and he was probably, 18, 19 years old. And I couldn't help but have a sense of pride and just thinking that I didn't do any of that, right? But I know, Dr. Rios, that you would never take credit for any of that either. But what you instill in, I think, every educator is the idea that as an educator, we have one job and one job only, and that's to replace ourselves. Whether we know it or not, that is our main goal. And as we, and I say part of the faculty, go out to Cantu, to BIPS, right, to PTech, to go teach, we have not only the tools, but we have all the help we need, right, when we go out to teach. As a faculty member, I've never felt not a part of Laredo College when I'm at Cantu. As a matter of fact, if you go to Cantu Early College High School, it stops being Martin High School and it's Laredo College. All the signage, everything that's there. And I know myself and my colleagues, the ones who go out to do this important job, really feel comfortable and at home because of the vision that you had so many years ago, back in 2018. I think it surpassed even what I'm assuming what you envisioned, but it's turned out to be one of the best partnerships that we've had these past few years. And I just know that my colleagues and I are grateful and thankful because no matter where we go, we still feel the professorship, ambiance with our students, and we do not feel like we are lacking in anything when we are at these, what I like to call satellite campuses. It's been quite a journey, and I think you have more than replaced yourself in the sense that we're going to keep doing that with the students that we teach. But ma'am, you are irreplaceable. And I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, and we will miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gill. Now, on behalf of Laredo College, our Laredo College President, Dr. Benita Ramirez.
So I don't typically prepare words, but it's obvious that this room is filled with people who, over the course of the years, have been impacted by not just the intellect and the work, but the heart of Dr. Sylvia Rios, including me. Hailing from Hebronville, Texas, where she was valedictorian of her class, she continued throughout her life to excel and try to achieve always the very best, not only what she was doing, but for her family and for her for the people that she was going to work with and impact. Over the course of our tenure as educators, and I'm not quite her age yet, but I'm almost there. I'm almost there, Sylvia. I'm almost there. I truly feel that we've shared lots of heart-to-heart conversations about the future of education and where we're headed, not only as educators ourselves, but as partners in this fight for continuing to find ways of bringing literacy and understanding to math and science. And I put math first, math and science. She's a mathematician and I'm a historian, and so there's an argument there about what's more important all the time. And so how we proceed as educators from here on in is really incredible. I do think that your wisdom, your grace is unmatchable. I also think that the way you treat people with dignity, and even in the face of adversity, is quite remarkable. Um, I know that my face was not always, um, um, let's just say I couldn't hide what I was really thinking most of the time, but you do a really good job of hiding what you're really thinking. Um, and so, you know, Ricky and I had the privilege of working with you as trustees. Um, and it's really, and I'm glad Ricky's here, uh, because he, Monica, and I, along with the other team, the rest of the team that was together, we didn't always agree, but we always knew that we all always had the same goal in mind. And we all thought of different ways of getting there, but in the end, we got there. And we did a lot of good for a lot of people. But most importantly, we always kept the future of Laredo ISD at the very center of what we were doing. And so all of us, a lot of people in this room are products of Laredo Independent School District. Um, Jerry being part of the team that worked really hard at developing, you know, who LISD turned into, and we're grateful that he's here. And we're very proud of what he's doing as well, and that's a testament to you. Because of your training, because of your leadership, because of your guidance, many of us have been able to succeed. And we know that we can always count on you for continued support through our endeavors. As a mentor, as an educator, you've always had transformation at the core. How we started dual credit, how dual credit began years ago. I remember having those conversations even when Dr. Nelson was around and you were at Nixon, and there was always that concern about what next. And here we are all these years later, and really feeling the success of dual credit. And it was a vision, and it was a challenge, and took a lot of convincing of a lot of people that this would work, and it did. And today we honor your service. We honor the meaning of your life as an educator. But we also know that as Laredo College, the partnership and friendship that we share is unwavering, and it's unmatched. And we have an incredible tribunal, and I think that being able to work together, the three of us, Laredo ISD, UISD, and Laredo College, and TAMU, has been really, really supported because initially you brought us all together. And so we thank you for that. We want to recognize you, and I'm going to ask our Board of Trustees to join me on the stage. And we'd like to call you up because we want to give you a little something on behalf of us. So if you'll join me up here. We have a little recognition for you. It says, congratulations on your retirement. Presented to Dr. Sylvia Guerra Rios, Laredo Independent School District Superintendent, in grateful recognition of your unwavering dedication, partnership, and commitment to excellence in education. Thank you for being a true partner in education. Wishing you joy and fulfillment in the years ahead. Laredo College, June 3rd, 2025. Dr. Rios, would you like to say anything? I know that's not a trick question, ma'am. It's a long-running joke, okay? So I'm going to share this because I think it's funny, but maybe it is funny. She knows what I'm going to say. So when we were on the board, and Monica and Ricky will remember, we used to time her speeches.
Because it was only 3 to 5 minutes.
Because we would tell her 3 to 5 minutes. And 30 minutes later, she was still talking. So, Dr. Rios, please join me.
Okay. Well, I will rebut that in a couple of minutes. Notice what I said, a couple of minutes. Well, first of all, thank you everyone who is here today. To be able to share this moment with me, I truly appreciate all of you. And in particular, thank you so much, Laredo College, for thinking of me. We had a little bit of a celebration on Saturday. And I do have to tell you, okay, I come from Hebronville. Okay, when I was growing up in Hebronville, it only had one stoplight. Okay, now it has two, and it has a McDonald's. And in Hebronville, if you were going to go anywhere, are you going to go right into the Y? Because the Y was where the road would split. And so you could either go to Falfurrias or you could go to down that other road, Thompsonville, and I never did that. So just to let you know, I never did. But, and then you could go to Freer and the other way, you could go to Benavides and so on. Here's the thing, when I first became Chief Academic Officer, which was a title that I had never heard of before, I was a Nixon High School principal for 7 years. But I became Chief Academic Officer later on. And when that happened, my first encounter or experience with Laredo College was to come to an advisory meeting. And I was like, okay, just smile. Make sure that everybody thinks you know what you're thinking about. So the first thing that happened when I got to Laredo was all these acronyms. And I was like, okay, just smile, write them down. And then when you get back to Nixon High School, you can actually look up the acronyms. Well, here's the thing. The acronyms were the same things that we would work on, but Laredo had its own reason for calling whatever it was in its own acronym way. So my first meeting with Laredo College was about aligning and thinking about what courses are going to be taken. And of course, it was at the very beginning stages. And so I was like amazed. Wow, kids actually get to go to college here. And they get to go to college while they're in high school. Now, to me, that was amazing. Like, really? And who pays for this? And how does this work? And my inquisitive nature was all about that. And I learned so much back in 2015, 2016, and 2017. So that when I became superintendent in 2017, yeah, I thought, yeah, I already got it, kind of. But here was the most important thing. To me, it has always been about kids. Because where I came from, very small town, come from a humble family, first to graduate from our family and go to college. My mom was a high school graduate, my dad wasn't. And I tell this story, and you probably know this. We come from a family where education is valued because education has always been the way out or the way towards something new, something better. And we're Hispanic. And our parents and grandparents say, I want you to do better. And you know what? You can have all the things in the world, pero nunca te van a poder quitar la educación. So, you know, you hear that all the time. You hear that all the time. So my twin sister and I graduated first and second. And so I know that there's a former board member that would say, well, you only had 80-something kids, or he says 15. That's not true. Okay, there was exactly 72 seniors in my class. What I'm proud about was this. Had the best teachers in the world, the best. I will tell you that because I had the best teachers in the world, out of 32 that you could get on an ACT, I had a 28. My twin sister had a 26. And so nobody was competing. I don't know, maybe some of you got higher than that, and that was okay. All I knew that at that time, if somebody had an 11, they were all cheering and happy because they could go to college. I didn't know any better. It was like, okay, wow, this is good, this is good. But here was the indebtedness. The indebtedness was about making sure that you made your parents proud, that you made your grandparents proud. My grandfather had 3 jobs. My dad had 2 jobs. Bless you, but getting back to my dad, my grandmother would always tell me, her name was Sofia, and she would always tell me, tu papá lloró cuando tuvimos que sacarlo de la escuela. He was a 9th grader, and so he was the eldest in the family, and they needed to make ends meet. And they needed to make ends meet because you see, my grandmother's mom, or my great-grandmother, passed away, and so she had to take care of the rest of the kids. Her youngest sister was 2 years old. So when my grandfather married my grandmother, he actually inherited 5 kids, plus then his own. So when my dad was in school, in 9th grade, they took him out of school because we need you to work, Arnoldo. We need for you to work. And so he did. But my grandmother back then, she would say that my dad cried because he wanted to go to school. And the thing about that was this: he never lost hope because he worked for the Texas Highway Department for the longest time. But here's the thing, he never lost sight of what he wanted. So I was a high school senior, and you think you know everything when you're a senior and a junior, and so on and so on and so on. So you think you know everything. So here's my dad coming home from work, 5 o'clock, 5:30, and he takes out his GED books. And so he's, I'm an English and math major, secondary. So he would say, can you help me with this? So now I was in band, I was in all of these activities. Can you help me with this? So what do high school kids do? Like this. Okay, so I would help them with math and so on. But here's the most memorable part of this. So he passed all his tests eventually. So in the mail comes his diploma. And so you're looking at this man, a grown man, with my twin sister and I, and my sister Sandra, and so he gets this diploma, and he takes it out, and he's so proud. And then me, as a high school student, I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing, wow, there's value in moving forward. There's value in education. There's value. Somebody thought, and he thought more than anything else, that he could do it. So we hung up his diploma. We, put it in a frame, put it in the living room. And that story has always stuck with me because my twin sister and I were the oldest in the family, period. There was 13 grandchildren, and we were the oldest in the family. And one of the things that, in those days, nobody ever said no. If you were a kid, they told you, you need to go do this, go take out the trash right now, you will do it. If you had to do this, you just did it. You just did it. So we grew up with the idea that when you're in education, when you're in school, you have a job. The job is to do what? To do well. You're not going to say no. You're just going to do it because that's an expectation. And that expectation is so fundamental, not only to what the school does, but who you are and who your family is. And what is it that they expect? My grandparents were from Realitos. I don't know if you've ever been to Realitos. Little tiny town. And so one of the things that I learned then was I can't let anybody down. The second thing that I learned then was that I was the eldest in my family. And my twin sister, of course, 20 minutes younger. I can claim that. 20 minutes younger. One of the things that I learned was that teachers saw me and Cynthia as, I don't want to say the promising kids, because in Hebbronville, everybody was expected, you had to have hair that was only up to here, like right there. It's a kicker town. You all know what a kicker town is. And you just had to be the model, and so we had these teachers that were phenomenal. The reason that I like math was I can tell you all my math teachers. I can tell you who they were. I can tell you that one of the best teachers actually was an LC teacher, a professor, Saavedra. was he a math or science teacher here? Science professor? Monday? Science. And right, and so I can tell you that I can tell you who were my math teachers. I can tell you who were my chemistry and biology teachers. I can tell you what they meant to me and how they pushed you. Like I can tell you that my twin sister and I were so alike in what we looked like and how we talked that that I never heard my name till I got to college. It was Cuata, 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 Cuata. So when I got to school and somebody said Sylvia, I didn't answer right away. You know, it's the truth. But here's the story to that. There were a group of teachers who believed in me and in Cynthia so much that they were not going to let me fail. They were not going to say, Ayato. They were not going to say, you can't go to college. The one person that I will tell you, it was a beginning counselor, a first year counselor, that this is the choices that he gave girls. You can be secretary, you can be a beautician, or you can be a teacher. Okay, well, first in our school to graduate. Mind you, I was a math teacher, I was a math kid, I was a science kid. So I ended up wanting to go to school, and if they told you you got to take these extra classes, you just took them. Nobody told you not to. I remember studying under the bed sheets with a light, and my mom turned off the light, a flashlight, turn it off, because she wanted everybody to go to bed at the same time. But the other thing that I know is that these teachers were so impassioned about making sure that every single child did their best. Every single child had a career. Every single child had an option. That's what I need to say. Every single one had an option. So I had band directors, I was never an athlete. Please don't tell me, if there was some loose ball out there, it's probably gonna hit me. But I will tell you that these individuals believed in us, and they believed in me. So when I finally was gonna go to college and I became valedictorian and my twin became salutatorian, it was like, what do you want? Not because some counselor told you, do you want to be a teacher, do you want to be a beautician, or do you want to be a secretary? It was like, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher because I know that if I'm a teacher, I get to explore, and I'm going to use Star Trek, new worlds. And you're Star Trek, you're not a Star Trek person, but you're a Star Wars person. So you get to explore these different things. And believe me, they did take us to new places, even though you never left the classroom. They did take you to new adventures and to new expectations. And that is what's important. So when I became a teacher, that's what I wanted. I could have been anything I wanted to be. But I had such wonderful role models. I had such wonderful teachers that's who I wanted to be. But I was inquisitive in nature, and people nurtured that. So when I saw Dr. Gill carry the mace, the first thing I asked him was it heavy? I mean, how heavy was it? And the first conversations that I had with Dr. Gill or with Rick here or with Monica, they were about education. They were about expectations. They were about where do we want to take our kids. When I talked to Minita, it was about that. It wasn't about what other things could happen. And I see my Region 1 folks over there. Edna was my master teacher for English. Edna was, not Edna, but Elsie was a principal, and Mirtala. All of these individuals, what I really love is that we have a joy, and that joy is in learning. And if you cannot foster that joy, and if you cannot foster it with just because of your heart, you're not doing what you need to do. Jerry, I remember when I went to Nixon High School for 7 years, he was just going out the door as a science dean. And I always admired, I'm not even gonna tell you about my adventures in science, because I can tell you that our hallway smelled like eggs, rotten eggs. I know I messed up through the wrong thing. But I can tell you that people like him, people that enjoyed teaching, that enjoyed opening another world, another opportunity. And that's what Laredo College has done. I am so grateful, so very grateful for everything that I have learned. for all the times that we could sit down together and think about what's next. Because one of the things that I can tell you is that we were always taught it's not about what you messed up with, it's about what's next. And so that positivity, that half glass full instead of that half glass empty, really what has driven me all of my life. But let's talk one more last thing. From Hebronville, there have been 5 superintendents in 5As and 6As. Out of Hebronville, out of my class, not only my class, because that would make them too old. Yeah, they were my kids. They were my students. And what I can tell you is that love of learning, whether maybe it's because we're in the ranchito, I don't know, but that love of learning has really been something that has carried through. And I will tell you that my younger sister, Sandra, was salutatorian. So it's not because my family all went to college. It's not about that. It was being able to be appreciative of what could be, of what can be, of what we can do as individuals to make it work. I'm so appreciative of the fact that there were people like Minita, like Esteban, thank you for your scripture, when I needed it the most. Monica, thank you for all the cuss words I never said. I swear I just smiled and put them in my, okay, she taught me a new one. Rick, the cellular level. You gave me a little pendant when it was the most trying time, a little, prayer thing. And that we all need prayers, yes. But I tell you what we need the most is individuals who are leaders, individuals who are risk takers, and individuals who can dream beyond today. Because all of what Laredo College is doing, all of the accolades that Laredo ISD has gained, it's not because we're living in the past, it's because we're living for the future. I need to brag on Laredo ISD before I leave. Laredo ISD has 28 schools. Out of those 28 schools, 11 are United States Department of Education Blue Ribbon schools. Not because we applied. Just to tell you the process, we don't nominate ourselves. The Texas Education Agency picks the 26 best schools in the state of Texas. And that's how they submit those names to the United States Department of Ed. So yes, I said 11, but right now 3 have already been nominated. They're going through the last phase. And if there is still a United States Department of Ed, half of our schools will be United States Blue Ribbon schools. And that is something to be proud of. Jerry was part of that. Maggie has been part of that. All of you have been part of that. I want to talk about last thing, valedictorians and salutatorians in our class and Laredo College. I want you to know that we have valedictorians and salutatorians going to Notre Dame this year. We've got valedictorians and salutatorians going to University of Texas, and some of them are going to be at Texas A&M International. What I will tell you is that because of you, Laredo College, each one of these kids has already earned a college and career readiness indicator, or they've earned an industry-based certification, or they've earned their associate degrees. And if that doesn't make you proud, I don't know what else can. So I'm very thankful for the things. I know you're timing me, but I'm very thankful for everything. And no, we cannot be over 2 hours because then the next class has to put up their curtains. I will tell you, in all fun and with just a deeply grateful heart, whenever I see a leader, and I know that that leader is genuinely and authentically interested in our kids, I'm going to be your champion. And I'm going to champion you because I know that in the end, you are going to champion our kids. So thank you so very much for giving me this honor. And thank you so much. I see some principals here. I just see some individuals who care as much as we do for the kids in our school, in our community, because those kids are who are going to replace us. And in the end, we want to make sure that we have good physicians that can actually tell those vital signs just the way they need to be told, that they're going to be good bankers, they're going to be good mathematicians, they're going to be the next aerodynamic engineers, they're going to be the best. But they're going to be the best because we've joined together to be that group of individuals who lifts them up rather than quashing them. So thank you so, so much for making me part of this celebration. Thank you.
Dr. Rios, I don't know if you know, but we're missing a Vice President of Student Success and Enrollment in case you change your mind. Just saying. On behalf of Laredo College, Dr. Rios, congratulations. We wish you nothing but the best. God bless you. We love you. And to the rest of you, thank you for celebrating with us today. Have a blessed rest of your evening.